Hello, my name is Obsidiman, and this is my comprehensive Interstellar Rift tutorial, the series that has all the info you'll need to master the game. This episode is about star systems, the different tiers they come in, and traveling between them using interstellar rifts. Rifts are the primary means of travel from one star system to another. Passing through a rift will take your ship to the destination star system, and upon arriving to the destination system, you will see that there is also a counterpart rift which can take you back to the initial system. The mass of a rift determines what size ship can pass through it. In order for a ship to go through a rift, the mass of that rift must be greater than that of the ship. For example, a ship with a mass of 1,000,000 would need a rift with a mass of at least 1,000,000 in order to pass through. However, you'd likely want the mass of the rift to be even greater, since rifts slowly lose mass over time, at a rate of 1 mass per game tick. In 1 second there are 20 game ticks, so every second a rift loses 20 mass. In the flight HUD, a white rift icon means the rift is big enough for your ship to pass through. Red means it's too small, and yellow means the ship is currently passing through the rift. When a ship goes through a rift, the mass of the ship is subtracted from the mass of the rift. If a ship with 50,000 mass went through a 70,000 mass rift, the rift's mass after the ship passed through would be 20,000, not accounting for natural decay. If you attempt to fly a ship through a rift that isn't massive enough for the ship, the rift will simply be destroyed. When a rift is opened, its counterpart in the destination system will have the same initial mass as it. However, any mass subtracted due to a ship passing through will only affect that end of the rift. The rift in the other system will remain unaffected. To create rifts, you need a special type of fuel called Xanthium. There are 3 types of Xanthium, each with increasing potency, all of which can be crafted using a refinery. Regular Xanthium is made by combining 1 beryllium, 1 deuterium, and 100 nitrogen into 100 Xanthium. Xanthium is produced with 1,000 Xanthium, 1 mercury, and another 100 nitrogen, yielding 100 Xanthium. If you combine 500 Xanthium with 1 osmium and yet another 100 nitrogen, you can make 100 tetraxanthium. Every type of Xanthium can open rifts into star systems up to 30 light-years away. There also exists another type of rift fuel, which can open rifts up to 60 light-years away. However, that's a topic best saved for another video. In order for a ship to open a rift, it needs to have a rift generator on board. There are 3 sizes of rift generator. The small rift generator, which only accepts regular Xanthium, can open rifts up to 250,000 mass. The medium rift generator, which accepts either regular Xanthium or Xanthium, can open rifts up to 2.5 million mass, but only if using Xanthium. The large rift generator can accept any of the 3 types of Xanthium, and, if using tetraxanthium, has the potential to open rifts up to 10 million mass in size. Rift generators all have a holographic 3D star map showing nearby star systems built into them. There are 4 starting star systems, each corresponding to one of the 4 factions you can choose from at the start of a game. Hurl's Co. starts in Vectron 6, Galactic Trade in Alpha Ventura, Sentinel Security Systems in Sentinel Prime, and the Drifters start in Scaverion. Star systems that you are currently unable to travel to are shown in red. A circle around a system indicates a player is currently in that system. A white diamond shape beneath a star system indicates that there is an active event in that system, which will be covered in a future video. Star systems come in 4 tiers, with each tier having more valuable resources and more dangerous enemies than the previous. Tier 0, which includes all of the starter systems, Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. In order to access systems above Tier 0, you need to install a Rift Generator cartridge into your Rift Generator. There are Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 Rift Generator cartridges, each granting access to systems of their respective tier and below. Rift cartridges are damaged every time they are used to open a rift to any system higher than Tier 0. A fresh cartridge can be used 100 times before breaking. Rift Generator cartridges can be purchased from faction headquarters desks at any starter station. In order to purchase them from a faction, your reputation with that faction must be high enough. For example, to purchase a Tier 1 Rift Generator cartridge from Hurl's Co., your Hurl's Co. reputation needs to be at least 1,000. You can increase your reputation with any faction by doing missions from their stations, completing system events for them, or by paying them tributes at their headquarters desks. You can check your current faction standings by opening your grip with Tab and navigating to Status, Diplomacy. You can quickly open the Diplomacy menu by pressing V. Used Rift Generator cartridges can sometimes be found at Logicorp storefronts, and always at the Drifters faction headquarters desk. Used cartridges are less expensive than fresh ones, but can only be used a few times before they break. They also have no faction reputation requirement, meaning that it's possible to go straight from a Tier 0 star system to a Tier 3 star system without ranking up with any of the factions. Point your cursor at one of the star systems in the holomap, and you can see the name of the system, your current distance to the system's tier, whether or not player versus player fighting is enabled in that system, and any modifiers in the system. Systems that you currently can't travel to will also show the reason why you can't. You can also zoom the holomap in or out, or rotate the map in 45-degree increments with the buttons on the holomap control screen, which is the rightmost screen on the small generator. If you select a star system from the holomap by looking at it and pressing E, you can see the resources in that system on the system info screen, which on the small rift generator is the third screen from the left. The resources in the selected system will be listed here, along with the abundance of the resource, expressed as a decimal from 0 to 1, with 1 meaning very abundant. The tier of the star system determines what resources will appear in the system. Tier 0 star systems can have iron ore, copper ore, water, carbon, nitrogen, beryllium, silver, and gold. In Tier 1, you can find silicon ore, zinc ore, which is combined with copper ore to make brass, iridium, and mercury. Tier 2 systems introduce nebula-like gas clouds, which will be covered thoroughly in a future video, which contain the gases acidium, fulgurium, and calirion. These systems can also have aluminum ore, tungsten ore, lead ore, osmium, and radioactive uranium ore. Tier 3 systems can have lithium ore, platinum, titanium, manganese, and quartz. Lithium, titanium, and manganese all only appear in rich asteroids, which must be mined using a strip miner, which will be covered in a future episode. Each tier system can also have any of the resources available in any of the lower tiers. The system information screen will also show you the current influence each faction has in the system, including the alien menace known as the Skrill. Faction influence ranges from 0 to 5,000, and if a faction has a high enough influence in a system, special events can occur. For example, a system with a high enough galactic trade influence will occasionally have GT traveling trade emporiums, stations with a large selection of goods to buy and sell. Visit the system. The Skrill influence determines the likelihood, frequency, and amount of Skrill that appear in the system. System modifiers can also be viewed on this screen. There are many different modifiers, from bonuses that increase the abundance of certain ores, to penalties that increase the amount of Skrill. A system gains modifiers, either good or bad, by having events in the system completed. There is also a list of stations that the system initially generated with. If you want to go to a system which is out of range of your rift generator, selecting it will show you the best path to take to get there. However, you will have to manually make note of the route, and select each star system along the way, as the rift generator doesn't automatically open rifts to the stars along the route. There is also a button to search for a star system on the activation screen, the second from the left on the small generator. You can search for a system either by its name or by the identification number next to the name of the system. The search function will only work for systems up to 150 light-years away. Once you've decided which system you want to travel to, and it's selected in the holomap, go to the mass settings screen, the leftmost on the small generator. Here, you can input the mass of the rift you'd like to generate. Remember that, in order for a ship to go through a rift, that rift must have a higher mass than the ship. Because of this, and because rifts decay over time, all rifts have a base mass of 12,000. The mass inputted on this screen will be added to the base mass, so the easiest mass to set is exactly the mass of the ship you want to rift. The mass of the current ship is listed on the screen, just below the input box, and you can also set the mass to a nearby ship by pressing Set to Ship and choosing one of the ships from the list. Choosing Current Ship will copy the mass of the current ship into the input box. You can also quickly double the inputted mass, or reset the mass to 0. With the rift mass set, the generator will calculate how much Xanthium, and which type, is needed to open the rift. Make sure the generator has enough fuel loaded in the input slot, and the bar at the bottom of the screen will show how much of the available fuel is required to open the rift. If you're going to a system above Tier 0, make sure your generator has an appropriate tier Rift cartridge installed. Once you're ready to open the Rift, press Engage. The generator will charge up, and when the charge is full, it will begin the process of tearing space to open an interstellar rift. That's the end of this episode of the series. The next video will be the first of a multi-part episode about Interstellar Rift's ship designer. The first part will cover the basics, like the user interface and the different editor modes. If there are any topics you'd like to see covered in a future video, leave your suggestion in a comment below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to catch the rest of the series.